Anytime.
Any second.
Anytime.
There we go. Yay!
We're not late.
Yeah.
No, we're really early.
Yeah. Welcome to Heart Centered Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And help me welcome David from Tarot by the Bay, Tarot of the Seven Seas, and also Twin Tarot, and Gary, who is the other half of Twin Tarot. And yes, they do look alike because they're twins. They're identical twins.
Hence the name.
Yeah, hence the name. So yeah, you're not seeing double unless you've been drinking. So, you know, it's your call, right?
Gary's internet out in the shed right there is spotty. So he's either doing a really good mannequin imitation or his internet's barfed on him yet again. And he's going to be eventually probably moving into the house where he's got a more reliable internet connection.
Well, you know what? We will carry on, and Gary will join us when Gary joins us.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you to all of you that are here. My goodness gracious, we have got an awful lot of people that have come in. Too many for me to say hello individually. But I do appreciate you being here and spending part of your evening with us. Hope you'll enjoy the show. And don't forget to... Oh, here comes...
Is he in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, once I heard Dave get top billing, my ego just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Spiritual Sean says you have to get out of the shed, Gary.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Time to get out of the shed. Say hello to everybody.
Come out,
everybody.
Be the real you.
Hello. So yeah, don't forget, you guys, to like, share, and subscribe to David and to Gary on the channels. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on my channel as well. Leave a comment after the show. It helps in the algorithms. It helps get us out in front of more people. And, people want to hear what we have to say. They just don't know where we are. Or at least they don't know where I am. I think they got a good idea of where the random guy on YouTube is. So, you had a good trip up north to the Great White North?
Indeed. It was glorious. Highly recommended for everybody. No, it's, my son and I went up there. We flew in on the 10th and we left on the 15th. So we spent 4 full days and 2 part days up there. And it was nice. It was very relaxed, low key, sleeping in, gaming. We're playing Baldur's Gate 3 for the gamers out there. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we just played on our computers with our friends and ate good food at lunch and had a beer or two and ate some food at night and just hung out with friends. It was just a nice, relaxing day today, to the point where when I came, after I was wiped out when I got home this morning, and I slept in, and actually I was up before 8, which is like an hour or 2 earlier than I have been sleeping. So it tells me I'm recovering here. And then I recorded like 7 videos today because I was feeling it.
For punishment.
It's funny because again, I was feeling it. So I've got a whole series of Trump videos and coming out this week at lunchtime, and it's basically how is Donald Trump feeling after the incident, and how will it impact him in the future? And I did that for him. Tomorrow's going to be Melania, then we'll have Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric. So a little bonus content for people during the week.
Perfect. And given what has happened, I think that we need to talk about the fact that you're not allowed to go on holidays anymore, because when you go on holidays, the world falls apart.
Hey, Gary, just for the audience watching, is there anything moving or reflecting in your room? Or are you just sort of sitting there very still and quiet?
I'm sitting here very still and quiet, but I've been rustling around. So
because there's like orbs flying all over you. I don't know if people have been watching.
Jack has this one of those Hawaiian
Oh, hula dancers.
Yeah,
Put
hula
it,
dancers.
put it on
That's
the ground.
solar
Put it on
powered.
the ground for a second.
What's that?
Put it like on the ground or something like that, because there's because it keeps, and there's another one
Oh
on
yeah,
your top
I
right
just saw
corner.
that one go by.
Yeah. So you're surrounded by fairies. Congratulations, you found the spiritual romance.
Yes, that'll send this thing viral.
Yeah.
Either that or we need to dust this room more often.
Oh, please. That sounds like housework.
Those are pretty big. Those are pretty big dust particles. Just saying.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. You know how it is. You get busy.
Yeah, Texasite
Absolutely.
particles.
Absolutely. So, and yes, Spiritual Shine, Gary did a great job reading solo.
Yay!
And you jump in, right? That's
Yeah.
the only way to do it, is you just jump in the deep end of the pool and go for it.
Yeah, fortunately, I've been hanging out with David just long enough to fake my way through it.
Absolutely.
I had some good cards with me, so that certainly helped.
Yeah. I just saw them flying. Yeah.
Yeah, did you see the one where he said, I got some good cards with me, and like the biggest of fairy moths flew over his head? I'll have to watch this one later to see if I can freeze that one, see what it looks like.
Hair.
Yeah. That's
fast-moving
okay.
cat hair.
Yeah, we're okay with dust bunnies or anything else that might come in. Perfectly all right with that. Oh, before I forget, and I have to remind myself, because I don't always describe, what folks can get on my channel until after the show's over, and I think, oh, I did it again. I forgot. So for those of you, if you're interested in booking a reading, if you're interested in taking a class, please go to my website, which is Marina's Heart-Centered Tarot. Here, I'll hold it up here so you can look at it. All the information that you need is on there. So go over, take a look, sign up for classes, book your personal reading, and we'll take it from there. And I have a feeling that it's not going to be long before, well, David, you've already done some personal readings, have you not?
But like giveaways on your show and stuff like that. And I still owe Cheryl Pear that reading. We've tried to connect a couple of times, but life's gotten in the way.
And speaking of collabs, Linda G says, neither of you has sent her your mailing address.
Huh. I didn't know she was asking for it.
Oh, you know why? There's a gift. There's a gift she wanted to send us.
Yeah, and apparently
we were talking over hors d'oeuvres and cocktails about. I was asking her a bit about her background. She goes, "Well, I wrote a book."
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like, that's wonderful. She goes,
I thought she was going to give us a homemade present from Jack and Lulu.
Could be.
Yeah, so she's either going to send us a copy of her book, or maybe it'll be like a fruit cake from last Christmas.
Hey, whatever it is. Yeah, she was on the show last week, and we were chatting about you guys, and she said, they still haven't sent me their address. So
I'll
rectify that as soon as we're done.
Please do.
I want to read the book.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not, it's not a heavy read, and it's not a long read. Like, you definitely, an afternoon if you read slow. So
Dave's on it already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Folks in the comments are commenting about seeing orbs in your room. It's like, they're flying all over the place. You had one that was funny. It was going doop, doop, doop. That one might have actually been like a feather dropping down. Yeah. But other than that, it's just
yeah.
Maybe we should start doing our readings in here, Dave.
Thank you, James. Appreciate the donation.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Right on.
And Michelle wanted to know, does does anyone recommend a good past lives reader? If you are looking for, and I think, yeah, an Akashic reader could give you a very good story about past lives and so on. I would highly recommend Val of Dragonfly Crystals. And if you, she does Dragonfly Crystals, next level channeling. So the way that you can get her information is go down to the description of the video that I've got on my channel, scroll down, and you'll see her there. She's Sisters of the Mystical Tarot, Messages for Light Workers, and yeah, her links are in there. So yes, I would highly recommend Val.
I have had past life reading done with, as somebody pointed out in the comment, Joe Laser put out, Dr. Lena Rodriguez does do them, and I've had past life reading with her, as well as Melissa, the free range psychic. And I even had a past life reading done with John of New.
Nice.
His was probably the most interesting of them. But I'd have to go back and listen to the other ones. I typically record these for posterity.
Yeah. Yeah. And Spiritual Sean says, oh geez, the skeptic in the room is in the room. Oh well. You know, someone is a skeptic. You can be a skeptic as long as you're not rude and you're not bothering other readers or other people that are in the room. I don't mind. But if you get out of line, I'm going to toss your you know what out. So there. All righty. So let us get to the reason that we are all gathered here. Where do we start? Where do we start? Shall we take a look at JD Vance?
Sure.
Let's start with JD. What does his future look like? Hey, Sherry.
No. Would this be for entertainment purposes only?
Absolutely. Entertainment purposes only.
I'm very entertained.
Yes.
By the way, people love that cat shirt of yours.
It's awesome. I have if you Google the Cat Says No t-shirt, you'll find it. I put something up on my community page with a hyperlink to it. Hey, Gary, do you have cards with you? You throwing cards tonight too?
I did, except I didn't have an internet connection with my cards. I could pop off and get them.
You should go get them.
Okay, I'll go get them. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. We'll wait for you.
Exactly.
Jeez, you come to your reading without your tarot cards now. You know, that's
he's used to just opining on mine, but let's make him work for a living, huh? Okay, JD Vance. What do we got with here? Okay, deck is upside down. Message things happening quickly, messaging coming with him, and then the nine of rods and the Queen of Swords. Literally Trump made a quick decision, and he was probably forced to make a decision. This is one of those things. He was so, with this card, this is like Trump post being shot in the ear. This guy's got the bandage over his head, covering his right ear. He was, things were starting. Oh, of course. He didn't want to pick any of the four, I don't think. But the optics were too good. He's out there center stage with his Purple Heart war wound on his ear, and he had to make a choice. I don't think he liked any of them, but I wouldn't doubt with this Queen of Swords that he was told he had to make a choice. Now, who told him he had to make a choice? My guess is going to be something like the Heritage Foundation. We were discussing this a little bit earlier. Yes. Vance is like a young Trump, a smarter Trump. He'll be a great figurehead, but he can actually do damage.
Yes.
And he's young enough to do damage for a long time. So it wouldn't surprise me if, the Heritage Foundation put him up there. In the past, Five of Swords, J.D. Vance, before hated Trump, called him America's Adolf Hitler and what is it? Not arrogant a-hole. It was something a-hole, comparing him to Nixon. or he's America's version of the little guy with the little funny mustache from Germany.
Yes.
But he's a winner takes all. He doesn't take prisoners type thing. Now, JD Vance, Wheel of Fortune. JD Vance is now tying his whole political future to Donald Trump. Because as we know, everything Trump touches dies. You don't succeed without Trump. So he's now hitched his wheel to his fortunes to Trump. And that's kind of the fortunes. His whole legacy, his whole lineage is going to be associated with Trump. Now, will he be a good fundraiser? Maybe. But I think this is more the Heritage Foundation realizing that they could have their agenda for generations to come if they can get this guy in here. Marina had brought up a really interesting point is, get JD Vance in there. We won't have another election until we've sorted out this whole fake election thing. But since there isn't one, there's nothing to sort out. But you can have endless investigations while you delay having elections for that.
Yeah.
The lesson to be learned is the Six of Swords. JD Vance's tumultuous life, or his calm life, is about to get tumultuous. I don't think this was a good choice on his part, but this is the power move from the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords. They're putting all their eggs in this basket with him. Outcome is the Ten of Wands, but I don't think he's going to be able to get this thing across the finish line. There's too much basically with JD Vance, there's too much to overcome. Trump's going to make him do all the heavy lifting. Trump is going to golf, and JD Vance will be the basically he's going to have to do everything that the president would do in this thing as the vice president, like exactly what Pence had to do, but he'll get none of the credit.
Exactly. Oddly enough, so I laid down 5 cards. 3 of the 5 cards are pages, which is that
young energy.
Young energy, don't know your way and trying to find your way, that kind of stuff. It's too much too soon. The guy has experience, really. So I get the Page of Cups, I get the Page of Wands, and I get the Page of Swords.
Wow.
This guy doesn't have any real government experience. He's only been in the government for a very short period of time. I think he was chosen because of his youth. How is it going to work out? Well, pretty clear. I get the Tower, and I get the Fool. And I think, David, you're right. He has here we go. Yeah, he has hitched his wagon to Trump, and it is not going to go well. This guy impresses me as being a little too cocky, a little too sure of himself. And so, this rise is very, very quick from being elected to up here. So, it's not going to turn out. It's not going to turn out. And he is very much, not only is he a full-blown Trumper, but he is determined that he is going to carry forward the Project 2025 agenda. And I think that they're not going to, not going to work out for him anyway. Yeah. What'd you get, Gary?
Oh, let me see what I got here. Top card. The Judgment card. Dun, dun, dun. So I think it's kind of, between Biden's debate performance and Trump's Purple Heart performance. I think it's, it's the call to the nation to wake up and see what's happening around here.
Yes.
Both candidates currently want to bring the temperature down. But I think this kind of relates to something David had told me earlier, which is what he was asking, why are we going through this? What is kind of the spiritual lesson here? And it's basically, what side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to support democracy and women's right to choose and all that, or do you want to support authoritarianism and all that goes along with that? And so I think this is what the judgment card is saying, is that the dice have now been cast. These are the folks that are going to represent you or not represent you, depending on how you vote. And it's time to stand up and be counted and figure out what side you're going to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Joe Eliza said his wife is a practicing Hindu. Not that I have anything against any religion. Practice and do whatever brings peace into your life, whatever religion that might be. The pearl clutching Christians, however, are going to have a lot of questions about someone that they want to vote for having a practicing Hindu in the family. That is going to cause them some concern. So that's what I'm getting. Alrighty. Now we did that. Let's go to Judge Aileen Canon. Hands up. Who was shocked when she dismissed the charges?
Where's my fainting couch? My pearls.
Oh, it could have knocked me over with a feather when that one landed.
Yeah.
It's not like I've been doing readings on that and just like, she's going to... I kept getting the 9 of Wands. It was like that. She had one more trick she had to pull. And again, we now know what it is. And I think what it came down to, when Justice Thomas gave her that personal note that wasn't addressed to her, but everybody knows who it was telegraphed to. It's funny because now you go back a couple months when Trump's team filed that filing saying Jack Smith was not legally authorized to do this. And it's like, the pundits are talking about, it's like, what are they talking about? This has been decided case law for like 150 years.
Yes.
This thing's going nowhere. But now that Mike Johnson said he was in communication with the Supreme Court. No reason for him to be in communication with the Supreme Court, but I think he was getting ahead of a story. And if the Supreme Court is communicating with Mike Johnson, who communicates through agents that gets to Donald Trump's lawyers, because Johnson can say, I never talked with Trump, but he can have an assistant talk with an assistant that talked with Trump's legal team.
Exactly.
And technically pass a lie detector test. They knew months ago how the Supreme Court was going to rule, which means the Supreme Court's been sitting on their ruling for months.
Yes.
And waited till the last day to get as much delay out of it. And now, Canon has tried to torpedo the entire case.
Yeah. So let's see if was she successful in torpedoing this case, or is this an opportunity for Jack Smith to go to the 11th Circuit and say
he's appealed it? Let's just see. I mean, ultimately, I guess is the question going to be whether or not the case is hooray, Suzanne Greenspan, welcome.
Oh, nice.
I think ultimately the question should be, is the case dead in the water? Because Jack Smith already said he's going to appeal it. So now how will the Court of Appeals handle this, or the Supreme Court handle this? Will this thing be dead in the water, or is it just delayed past the election, which is mission accomplished?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the energy around this? It's the Hillbilly Brawl card. Sorry. Ain't no brawl like a Hillbilly Brawl. I like it better than the Redneck Riot.
Yeah.
And with J.D. Vance, can I start saying Redneck Riot again, or Hillbilly Brawl, since he identifies as a hillbilly?
Absolutely.
This is just, this is just more mayhem on the case. It's about the delay, but it's about the energy of the delay on this one. Two of Wands, and now you have to wait till the next court on this one. Yeah, this was the plan all along, this is the big play. The big push. Now the case is all up in the air. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. And it's just delayed it way out into the future. Oh, Jesus. What a card. So Thomas and Trump and Judge Canon are just sitting there, or just like Judge Canon and Clarence Thomas, just sitting there like, yep, you did it. That's exactly, you did what you were told, and you got the mission accomplished. Current situation now is that contemplation, is the case, will it be appealed? It doesn't matter. In this case, it's just delayed. What could have been an election issue is now a post-election issue. If Trump gets elected, this case never sees the light of day. The Department of Justice pulls it. Or at least Trump will appoint somebody to the Attorney General position who will pull this case and end it. So they bought Trump the delay he needs. Overarching energy, and that was the delay. This was that final action here. But it's going through more court cases. So I think ultimately this thing wasn't done to get rid of the case. This thing was done to delay it. And now we have to get through the Court of Appeals and things along those lines. It's the gift, the gift that the Supreme Court gave back to Donald. And the case will progress. I don't know if the case will be dismissed. The problem with dismissing it, and like this, like if the Court of Appeals rules that that he was legitimately appointed as a special counsel, if the Supreme Court overrules that, there are a lot of court cases that now people who have been prosecuted can go and say that special prosecutor that was appointed is not legal. And so you open up a Pandora's box. Ooh, one thing I heard on, I'm trying to give credit to who I heard it from. It was Lady Di, the hazel-eyed lawyer on TikTok. For those who watch TikTok and know Lady Di, apparently in Judge Cannon's ruling, she wrote that this is specific to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's special counsel and nobody else. So that's kind of their way to get around. They saw how this could cause a lot of other court cases.
Yeah, like Hunter Biden, for example.
That legal argument or carve that out for Donald Trump. This makes no sense. This thing's going to the Circuit Court of Appeals, and I have full faith that the Circuit Court of Appeals, the 11th Circuit, will do the right thing and rule with law. And then if it goes to the Supreme Court, God help us, because that's like a Yahtzee cup filled with dice. You don't know what's going to come rolling out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think, I think you're absolutely right. Jack Smith appeals this, not only to the 11th Circuit, not only does he appeal the decision, but he also asks to have her removed for not being what's the word, non-partial or
impartial.
Well, thank you.
She's very partial.
Oh
yeah, she is.
Yeah, very, very one-sided. So I think that the cups that I got, the cards, I'm going to learn English one of these days. I hope you'll join me.
It's just your accent. We've all grown up. We know that cups and cards sound the same thing. It's like oot and a boot.
Oot and a boot. Yeah, that's right. I get the King of Cups. This is, this was not a surprise to Jack Smith. He knew what was coming. He had prepared for this, and probably had a lot of the paperwork already done, just ready to submit. And thank you, Viva la Vie. What this has done is it has resolved his, it has strengthened his resolve that he is going to see this through. And if he doesn't see it through, someone else is going to see it through. But there is going to be some accountability, and it's going to come in fast. I think that once he takes it to, the paperwork is filed in the 11th Circuit, I think that they're going to come back fairly quickly with a decision. It may not be before the election, but absolutely they're going to come back with something really quick. And then I've got the 5 of Cups. Judge Canon is not going to like the decision, because she's going to be a 3-time loser in front of the 11th Circuit. And I think people are going to be urging her to make a decision, to maybe consider another career.
I think it's going to be one of those, do you want to quit, or shall we fire you?
Yes.
I think those are her choices.
Yes. Yeah, because your dreams of being on the Supreme Court, unless, if Donald Trump gets in, he's not going to do anything for you, because he's got other people that he can, not that he can put in, but that the Heritage Foundation and the people who are behind the scenes really making all the decisions. You're a means to an end, sweetheart. You are so gone, it's not even funny. So, yeah. That's what I got. What'd you get, Gary?
Oh, well,
Yeah, Gary, what'd you get?
Yeah, geez.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what my top card is. I just reshuffled. What were we talking about? Yeah, so Aley.
Boy, that's starting to sound familiar.
Yeah, I know. So I've got the 2 of Pentacles. So the whole juggling act and the balancing act, which I think, in this case, I agree. She's successfully shot this thing out of the election cycle. It's gonna, if this happens, it's going to happen after the election cycle.
Yeah.
So right now, I think the balancing act is with the special counsel. They can appeal it, and the appeal could uphold it. If it goes to the Supreme Court and Justice Thomas is going to look at it, well, you already know how he wants to vote. It just depends if it goes to the full Supreme Court, right? Or if it just goes to Justice Thomas.
Looks like it has to go to the full Supreme Court.
Yeah, and to Dave's point, this whole little carve out for Trump, I don't think that's going to fly, because I think you have to apply this, universally, and that means Hunter Biden could probably appeal his decision, because then they use a special counsel on him.
Yep.
So I think that's problematic. So I think, and let me look at the underlying. Oh, a great underlying card, the Tower. Yeah, so this decision has just been built on a crappy foundation.
Yes.
And I think that now the balancing card is basically it comes back to your card too, Marina, which is the 2 of Swords. It's just, okay, how would you like to end your career here? Would you like to step back from this federal judgeship, or shall we volunteer you to step back? So I suspect that this decision is going to get overturned, and they're probably trying to figure out, what are we going to do with this judge, because it's apparent to the lay person that this is not an unbiased and fair judge. And that's what everyone should expect when they walk into a courtroom.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, I can see her in front of a microphone saying, yes, I've decided to resign, because this case has just gotten so out of hand that my family is being harassed and threatened, and for the sake of my family,
yes,
I'm walking away. In fact, I might even be moving to another country. Yeah. So yeah, if that happens, you heard it here. Okay. Clarence Thomas apparently as of yesterday, was in hospital with lung issues, breathing issues, or whatnot.
You know, it's someone in our comments section was saying that they're not sure if that's real or not. I tried finding something out on the internet, and there's nothing that I can see outside of something that might have happened in 2022.
Yeah. If you do something like that, if a Supreme Court justice, especially Thomas, checked himself into a hospital, there would be a lot of contemporary stories on it. The first I heard about it is just now for fluid in the lungs.
Okay, all right, because
I think someone said that was on Linda G's channel, but I just and I don't doubt her, but I can't verify it.
Okay. All right. Then that, yeah, what I heard yesterday was, that he was, he was taken to hospital and Linda G's, well, I don't know if it was fake news, but, she might have misheard or misquoted, but, Linda is not known for putting out false information.
Yeah.
We just haven't been able to verify it.
Yeah, I just did a search on Clarence Thomas and Clarence Thomas Health and looked up news, and there's nothing with regards to that.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's
it could, if you said it was yesterday, I'm not saying that if the mainstream news media was going to hide it, they can hide it, but somebody's going to put it out.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing out on there unless we become China and we are now filtering and throttling the internet.
Yeah, perfect. All righty. Well, let's go to our favorite man of the hour, the hero, the man who survived the assassination attempt to raise a fist in the air and say, fight, fight, fight. The strength of not only character, but the strength of the body to stand up, surrounded by Secret Service.
Courage under fire.
Courage under fire. You couldn't ask for a tougher man.
You know what the best part of that picture is? He's got that overbite with his little look on his thing.
I know.
It's like one of the most unflattering looks. And that's what's good. Somebody sent a picture of somebody getting a bad tattoo with that look on it. It's just like, God bless you, man. Bless your heart that you think that's a good idea.
Yeah. The other picture that I noticed was as they were trying to get him in the vehicle, the wind picked up a little bit. And oh my goodness, there is a significant bald spot there. It looked very, very smooth. Yeah. And
not to get too gossipy, but I think what I've read is that it's like he had hair plugs or something like that down in the front or something.
Yeah.
And that's why he lets his hair grow long and then does like the reverse comb over. So he's got like all his hair in the front that he brushes over, that probably covering the back, because you've seen his hair go whoop like a cockatoo before.
Yeah. Yeah. So is this going to is this going to scare Trump a little? Is he going to think twice about things? Or is he going to, does he realize he is mortal? Does he realize that something like this can happen to anyone? And he's not infallible. He's not above the law. And he's not being protected by God, please. Because he has said that he's, God protected him, and Marco Rubio said the same thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the evangelicals lap that up. Just like the fight, fight, fight. I mean, he's just being the showman that he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The real true conservative, you've been put in a timeout. If you continue attacking other people in the chat, you will be banned. Behave yourself.
No, it looks
You're,
like he was
you are
already
not
banned.
you're not in a friendly audience. So
Well,
show
looks
some
like
respect.
he was banned. So
Okay. So what was the question? I was too busy banning people, apparently.
No, that's okay. Did this
affect Trump? Did it change?
Yeah,
did it change the person?
did it change him a little bit?
The shooting?
Does he realize that he's mortal, and
Yeah.
what you put out to the universe, you get back.
Yeah. Let's see if he's got the realization that chickens come home to roost.
Yes.
Yeah. One other thing to throw out there, folks talking about the bandage on his ear in the golf course. I did look that up. It appears that the golf course picture might be a mislabeled picture of him on a golf course like 2 years ago. So, verify. When you see something like that, go ahead and verify it just to make sure if you can find a story about that. And that's what I had saw when I asked about Trump golf course ear, and that's what I got. Ace of Wands. Okay, how's Trump looking at it? It's like something hit him hard here with this. Trump is a great manifester, and it's like he sends out a lot of energy, and underneath it is like a new, like a just, like sort of, you got the sword of justice and judgment. People are on like a crusade type here. And I think it's one of those things, he has put so much anger and venom out there. He's manifested so much of this that he's now starting to be on the other end of it. In other words, if you go hit the hornet's nest with this stick and you say, hornets, go attack the Dems, and they've done that for a while, you get complacent. But after a while, the hornets want to sting something. And if they can't go sting those libtards, they might sting you. He's going to the well here. It was a matter of time. Wheel of Fortune in the past. He's done this over and over again. It's like playing Russian roulette, and the bullet never shows up. And then you're stunned when the bullet shows up.
Yeah.
And it's a teleprompter, and the glass grazes your ear. Yeah. I think in current situations, the Page of Wands, I think, again, because of this, it's almost like, the boiling point, the kettle overboiled. And now he's going to reduce the boiling point a little bit. You'll go from the Ace of Wands to the Page. You're going to cut back on your rhetoric because it's gotten too much. Something I was talking with Gary, it's like, at some point, the Republican Party thought they could control Donald Trump, and Donald Trump's the monster, and the GOP's lost control of the monster. At some point, Donald Trump always had control over MAGA, the monster, but now he's lost control of MAGA. And this was the first sign that he's lost control of MAGA. And remember, Dr. Frankenstein is not the monster.
Yeah, Frankenstein is the doctor, not the monster.
Exactly. The monster is the monster. So now he's got to make a decision. He now has to kind of balance his rhetoric because it could come back to sting him. So now what do you do? And for the first time in his life, Donald Trump has to actually think about what he's going to say before he says it, because it can come back and hurt him if he just goes off the cuff. The outcome is the Devil card. But here's the thing. Donald Trump is Donald Trump. And I think, Gary, didn't you and I just talk about this like on the phone before the show?
Yeah.
That Gary was asking, well, do you think Donald Trump will be able to roll it back? Or he posted a comment on my video that I posted on the same topic. It's like, no chance, because he is who he is. Yeah, maybe for 1 or 2 days he might be able to do it. But at some point, he can't help himself. Yep. He just is who he is, and this is the monster he's created. Yep. And he's going to have to live with the consequences of that monster. It's forever around him.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, karma is is definitely trying to teach him something. I get the 8 of Wands. This is kind of a quick realization that something's changed. Something isn't the way that it used to be. There's other things that are involved. I get the 3 of Wands. He's getting back what he put out. He is with the vitriol, with the hate and everything else that he has been spewing out. It's coming to get him. I also got the Ace of Swords. He is not one. Did he learn anything by this? No. Because he's going to find a way to blame everyone around him who didn't protect him, who didn't do this, that, or the other. He might have for a moment thought that, well, maybe I shouldn't have said some of those things, but at the same time, he's also thinking, but they deserve it. So did he have a come to Jesus moment? No, not really. It just made him more determined to get his ways, to do what he wants to do. What'd you get, Gary?
Okay, well, I pulled the Strength card. So, certainly he's putting out the image of being strong, right? Takes a bullet to the ear, stands up, puts that, thumbnail moment out there to fight. And, as long as I'm surrounded by my security detail, I'm very brave, as long as I've got that lion next to me, I can do no wrong. I can do everything that I need to do. Yeah. So it's all about for him. It's all about optics. Yeah. Let's see. The underlying card is the Hierophant. So, that's kind of an organized government, organized religion. Did that change him?
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is he's going to try. He's going to try to show that it changed him. And to Dave's point, I think that in the short term, he may be able to do a couple of things. But ultimately, the devil, when the devil card came up, I just started laughing because that is the card we always get for Trump. We always get the devil card. And the conversation Dave and I had earlier, which is Dave was saying, Trump is Trump. So I just think that there will be a short-term improvement, a show of strength, but ultimately, and the Hierophant, I kind of wonder, is it the Federalist Society, David? You're muted.
Heritage
Society. Yeah. So I kind of wonder if, underneath it is that's what they're telling him to do. You need to be strong. You need to mellow out a little bit here. Here's a VP pick for you that will help you appeal, maybe give you more broad appeal. But ultimately, to Dave's card, he is who he is, and he's ultimately going to forget about this lesson because he's strong. Clearly, God is looking out for me. God is looking out for me. He saved me from that bullet, and he wants me to be me. I know, just as a personal story, my wife and I, several years back, almost got into a head-on accident over in the East Bay. And when you face your mortality like that, it really makes you have a different outlook on life, about living for the day, living for the moment, not just always planning everything for the future. And, and what would happen if something happened. And we updated our will and trust within weeks after that to make sure it was up to date and everything was how we wanted it to be. And I think Trump's probably done a little bit of that, and he probably will do a little bit of that. But ultimately, the ego will take over, and he will become Trump again. That's my thought.
He's a malignant narcissist. He's probably more outraged that somebody took a shot at him and that it was one of his own followers. And who the heck screwed up that security detail? And
Yes.
Self-reflection is not something Trump does.
And that's what Marina's reading was. He'll find someone else to blame. He won't accept responsibility for it because he's never had to. And why start now?
Exactly.
Yep. Exactly. And the strength card that you pulled, I think, it's the strength of kind of standing on his, how dare you? How dare you? So, that's what it is. Well, what can you do?
Somebody in the chat was saying in there that Mary Trump says that Donald is very paranoid. And if that's the case, I would expect that you'll see his security details greatly increase, and he will probably be out less. Now, interestingly, I also saw some people were posting in the comments, not on here, but on my channel, that Iran, the Secret Service or U.S. intelligence found out that Iran had a plot to go after Trump. So and Trump knows Iran's going to go after him because he freaking launched a missile at one of their generals. So they might be going after him. And then this guy takes a shot. It's funny, that health event that I saw, which I did not think would be a shooting, I saw it would be out there for everybody to see. Trump would then lie low and we wouldn't hear much about the health event or anything like that for a while. And this could be it. I honestly thought it was a health event, so I'm still waiting for a heart attack or a stroke. But the net result of this is the same. Or it could be the same because it happened for everybody to see. Notice no doctors have talked about his injury. So there's nobody telling him that it's glass shrapnel in his ear and not a bullet that caused the damage. And if Iran's got a plot to get you and some American that's a Trumper took a shot at you, you might want to you might be very careful even on your own freaking golf course.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's oh my goodness, he's something else. So listen, I also had on here, I saw in the chat, what happened with Giuliani? He had to be carried out of the RNC. Probably just,
Why is all three of us? I thought maybe he just wasn't paying his bill.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Rudy hardly knew the guy. Had coffee with him once. Did a sketch where I motorboated him. Hardly knew him.
Yep.
Good guy. Solid guy. Great woman.
Well, he melted. Yeah, let's see. What happened with Giuliani that he had to be carried out? What happened?
I want to see if the temperance card comes up.
I'm going to use my deck of characters because I think that it just might have the answer I'm looking for. All right. He fell into some chairs. Okay, what?
It's the vibe I'm getting on this. It's funny because Gary said he didn't pay to get. It's like he's persona non grata. It's like it was almost like Trump said, "Get this guy out." It gets you down a little bit. It's like Trump said, "Get this guy out of here. I don't want him in here. Get him out." It's basically I owe him money, and I don't want to pay him. He's only here to collect on a debt. The guy is broke. And he's going to come. A lot of Trump's problems came from suggestions from Giuliani. Is there drinking? I mean, if it was drinking, you've got like alcoholics maybe running through his family. But honestly, I just think that Trump told him, get this guy out of here. I don't want this guy around me. The optics around him are bad. And it's like, get him out in a hurry type of thing. That's kind of what I get from it.
Well, I stopped at 2 cards because I thought, okay, that's basically all I need. I got the Ace of Pentacles and I got the High Priestess. And yes, it's Giuliani showed up and he had a couple because, that's what he does. And he was going to approach Trump and say, that debt you owe me? Well, I'm here to collect. And yeah, and you're right. Yeah. Trump said, get him out of here. And that's it. That's what happened to Rudy. He has really, really fallen far.
Trump has no use for him.
No, none at all. He fulfilled his purpose, and he did what Trump needed him to. And with Trump, once you're done, you're done. You no longer exist.
I have no more. It's all those coin cards. It's value, and Rudy's value is done. There's no value left in Rudy. He's extracted all the value he needs out of Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me see if we've got anything else here that Okay, you answered Frog Song, who wanted to know about the spread that you're using. And go to David's.
Go to my page and take a look. In the About Me playlist, I actually have a little 7-8 minute video on that spread. Explains all the positions. I learned it from Dr. Lena Rodriguez from Tarot Down Under, but I add a cross card and a shadow card to it. So it's even modified from how she taught me. And Mickey, you owe me an email, girl. Taylor.
Yeah, there. So there.
Yeah, how dare you? I sent you an email. I want an email response back. Outrage. Where's my pearls?
Yeah. So, you know what? Just before we go, and we're at 57 minutes, so this can be the last question. Are the events of the last week, 10 days, are they going to change people's minds on who they're voting for?
Okay. When I was in Canada, as part of the reason I was really, really grumpy when I was doing that video. It wasn't, I teased that I'm on vacation. I shouldn't have to do it, but I don't mind. Actually, right after I heard the news, I wanted to do a reading. It was just that time of night, I was just so drained. It's because I got lost on my own fears of what this could mean. But, my gut is telling me after a couple of days, it's not going to make a difference. Because in the end, the Trump supporters are always going to vote for Trump. Biden's going to vote for Biden. Somebody taking a shot at Trump isn't going to suddenly make the independent voters go, oh, he needs my vote. It's beyond that. It's funny because they'll say, if a president gets shot at, his numbers go up. Well, Trump's not the president. So nobody's getting a grip on his numbers. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a non-event. When I've done readings on this, what I came away with, it was the same reading that I came with when I was asking, why did Biden have to be sick during the debate? And why did this guy have to take a shot and injure Trump? Why? And the answer was pretty much the same. It's going to motivate it's going to cause people to condense around Trump, condense around Biden, circle the wagons, and protect their candidates. And then it's all of a sudden that vote that comes up. There's no when you die and you go before for your life review, you can't lie and say, "Oh, I didn't really mean to vote for Trump." Yeah, you did. You went in
exactly
both feet in, and it's literally forcing people to make a choice. But let's take a look. What's the question again? What did
the last week or 10 days, has it changed anyone's mind on
the world card? cross with the hanged man. People are looking at the U.S., especially around the world, in a different way. It may not be the U.S. voters, but holy crap, do we look like a third world country over here when you've got political assassinations happening on, and things need to change. Things are changing quickly, and things need to change quickly. Queen of Wands. We're asking about how people here are viewing, but it's almost answering how people around the world are viewing. Queen of Wands, taking action on that. Current situation is the Emperor. Jeez, what do we got? 4 of coins. Sun card. Are people here they're looking at things differently. They're bringing things to a conclusion. Before, it's just sort of like, oh yeah, I might go out and vote. We'll see what the candidates are. The people that thought, it's the same coin, different.
Yes.
Neither party's the same. There's no difference. They're starting to consider who's going to lead the country. And they're both old white men. They're just missing the facial hair. People holding on to their values. And it's kind of opening their eyes. You know what? I think what this ends up doing is it activates people to vote. It's, again, sort of going back to my reading here. When there's a political shooting, everybody's talking about it. You can't ignore it. It's out there. It's out there for everybody to see. So what are you going to do about it? Obviously, Trump is fundraising off of it. When Biden had his gaffe, he was fundraising off of it. In the end of the day, is it going to change anything? I'm not seeing a major change. I'm seeing small changes one way or another, little pitiful things. But it's mostly going to be like fundraising or stuff like that. But if people are worried about their values, they might actually go out and vote, because maybe for once they think their little vote might make a difference. And there we go. Got the washed out color back again. I think that we're going to have a massive turnout. This is going to cause a massive turnout in this election. This shooting will cause, not that the MAGA weren't going to come out, but if they were thinking they weren't going to come out, they're going to come out. The Biden folks are going to come out. This is going to have more voters than the 2020 election.
Yeah. What do you say, Gary?
I was looking at Dave's cards because he was starting to struggle just a little bit. So I was like, okay, how would I interpret that? And with the world card, it's like you said, everyone's watching, but this is affecting all of our worlds.
Yeah.
And then and it gives us we got to look at this from a different perspective, which is it's not just, we're not just voting for the candidate, we're voting for the platform now. Yeah. And that's really, I think, what's coming from all of this is that Biden, everyone's talking about how Biden is. Trump almost took one to the head. So it's the candidate you're voting for might be secondary to the platform that you're truly voting for.
Yeah.
And I think everything kind of then circles around that. Whether you had was it the Knight of Wands underneath that? Was the underlying energy, Dave?
Knight of Swords.
Knight of Swords. So you got this truth is out there and it's coming fast at you. Yeah. And then you got the Queen of Wands. And you had the Emperor. So it's like, with the Emperor, it's like, okay, it's the Queen of Wands it's got a little bit of emotion, but the Emperor's got no emotion. It's just like this is what's happening, straight up. I'm in charge. This is what's going to happen, and you're basically going to pick your platform. And that's how I'm taking it. Is it going to change anyone's vote? I don't think so, because MAGA's MAGA. And the Democrats are the Democrats, and the people who've already decided, they're not going to change their mind because they are voting for the platform at this point. So with the independents and the undecided votes, it's essentially, what platform do you want to support? That's your choice. You have no other choice at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I start off with the Ace of Wands. This is um, coming up with new ideas, looking at what needs to be looked at. I think people are they're paying more attention. And you're right, David, is where up until now they sort of had the attitude that, oh, well, what's the difference? One politician is as bad as another. So,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that now they're starting to see that, no, there is a difference between the two. Do you want someone who is going to work for you, who is going to make the country better? Or do you want someone who wants to be a dictator and is going to tell you what to do? And all of a sudden you find yourself with no rights and nowhere to appeal because everything is gone. So I think that this is making people pay more attention to what is going on, where yeah, it's not just as simple as, oh well, they're all the same. So
yeah, I think like on David's cards, with the Queen of Wands, that's and the past is kind of like, well, I really like this candidate. This is the candidate that I really prefer. That, and then you get the Emperor, which is like, yeah, but the current situation is very unemotional and just factual. Here is your objective choice.
yes.
These are your platforms, and
and
with the Ace of Wands, speak softly but carry a big stick.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There is, what is the Republican platform? What is it that they stand for other than get rid of all the immigrants, build a wall, do away with Social Security,
women's reproductive rights,
reproductive rights, and so on and so forth. Is that what you want? Do you want to live The Handmaid's Tale? Do you want to get firsthand experience on what that series was like? Because it's kind of knocking on your door. So you got to decide.
It's funny because in 2020 their platform was whatever Donald Trump wants. In 2024 their platform is whatever Donald Trump wants. But what I really see, and it's showing up in the comments, is that Project 2025 by the Heritage Foundation is driving this. And it's probably why I'm guessing that they're the ones that are forcing in the JD Vance as they want JD Vance as the vice president in case anything goes wrong with Trump, or Vance can pardon Trump so Trump can go live in Saudi Arabia and never face political conviction again. Yes. And then they got their guy in there to implement Project 2025.
Exactly.
And everything that you said, that's all Project 2025 stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's what it is. Oh my goodness gracious. Alrighty. We are at 1 hour, 7 minutes. This is fantastic. I have thoroughly enjoyed this, as always. And thank you, both of you, for joining me on Taco Tuesdays.
Thanks, Marina.
Forward to Taco Tuesdays. And for all of you folks that have joined us in the chat, really honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you for the donations. Thank you, thank you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and make sure that you're tuned in to David and Gary's channel, and subscribe to my channel as well.
Yes, please.
Yes. Go over to Heart Center Tarot, give her a thumbs up on the video, and give her a subscribe. She's crushed. Was it 3,000? Are you crushing towards 3,000, or did you exceed it?
No, she exceeded.
I exceeded 3,000, and
I'm knocking on the door to 4,000. We got to get her there.
Yeah. There we go. That's what
we'll do. Over the top. Head over to 4,000 tonight. I feel like a KQED.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do it. You can do it.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And have a super, super great night. And thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Marina. Bye, everyone.